Nuclear missile ready. Nuclear missile ready. Nuclear missile ready.
Hello, hello, what's up everybody? Welcome to another day of StarCraft 2. We're going to be having a crazy best of 9, hopefully here today, as we will have ShoWTimE and Clem showing up in, well, let's hope peak condition, peak form. They're going to be duking it out in a best of 9, completely trying to sweep the floor with one another. Of course, if one does get a one-sided victory here, there's going to be no mistake in who's the better player there, of course. TvP, man, TvP. We have the wall, ShoWTimE, someone that is known for just continuously straight up macro play and being indestructible, impenetrable, really. And then we have the very quick, the new talent on the block, really. The new, well, I say the new talent on the block. He's already quite established. He's pretty much visible in most online tournaments right now, making it to those finals. And he's doing a wonderful job so far. It is, of course, Liquid Clem. Yeah, he has been absolutely tearing up every prize pool right now in recent memory. Si, senor. Alright, so yeah. I mean, Clem, I'm hoping he goes easy, maybe perhaps on ShoWTimE. But then maybe that is me just being a little bit biased here, with Clem just continuously showing up in such not high FIFA, how would you say this? Huh. He's just showing up. Let's just call it that, alright? He shows up and he wins games. That's what he does. That's what he do. That's what he do. Anyway. ShoWTimE and Clem, let's take a look, guys. We are already loading up here. Simulacrum will be our first map. We have a French stream and we have a Chinese stream as well. So, you know what, if you want to check out in those languages what is happening, definitely go check them out. But until then, you know what, you're kind of stuck with me at this moment in time. And, yeah, I'm stuck with Clem and ShoWTimE. You know what? There's a whole lot worse that could happen. I'm not sure what's happening actually with the stinger here. The little transition effect. It seems to be a little bit broken today, but I don't know. I might have to look into that, tinker with it. Anyway, in the top left side, we have the German, the red Protoss. He's known as the Wall for his straight up, you know, impeccable macro play. One of the finest, if not the finest Protoss in Europe. He is, of course, ShoWTimE. He's fighting for Team Big. In the bottom right side, the blue Terran player. Still a youngster. I believe he is 18 years old right now. He's from France. And he's on Team Liquid. He is Clem. When you say 18 years old, I don't think that on its own doesn't say that much about his overall his age. But then when you say that 18 years old, that means he's born in 2002. It's a little bit like, wait, well, but wait, what? 2002, man, that seems like so recently, for me anyway. Doesn't feel like somebody that was born at that time should already be 18, but hey, here he is, and he's taking games off of pretty much everybody on the StarCraft 2 scene, and seemingly doing so with ease as well, which makes it all the more impressive. Alright, so far we're having very straight up macro play from both of these players, and that's how we like to see it, of course. Maybe Clem will, you know, it's maybe a little bit more likely to try some sort of a proxy here and there. I wouldn't be too surprised if he tries to mix that in a best of 9. You know what would make sense to do so, of course. A little bit more so than in a best of 3. Where, of course, every game is so much more important. Best of 9s really give you a little bit of an opportunity to kind of experiment, try some stuff out, and get some sneaky wins in there as well. Pick up the pace a little bit and just throw the momentum off your opponent, right? Because even if it doesn't work out, if you lose the game where you did try to do a little bit of a cheesy attack, then that still means that you are, well, your opponent is going to have to kind of consider something like that happening again. Are you kidding me? ShoWTimE actually saw this, or just was aware that the Reaper was there. He must have seen him, like just barely scooting on by through the fog of war. He's not going to get in too easily. He's going to try to get some sort of a scout going. He would be able to see a Twilight Council if he does manage to get into the base here, but not yet so fortunate. Okay, there we go. That was a little nice skedaddle. Trying to see that shade going forwards, and as he saw that it did finish on the low ground here, he was able to see it from the high ground, so ShoWTimE did lose track of that Reaper there for a moment. Of course, those shades not as much vision as the Reaper has, and oh, lovely nade. Almost dying there though, but does maintain that scouting potential, which he definitely is going to need here. Now this one, Adept is doing, you know, quite a bit actually. Getting a kill on that SCV right there. He does pay the ultimate price though for it. Explodes into a bunch of red Protoss dust. That's going to have to be cleaned up later on by the janitor. That comes around, perhaps the map for the next game. But anyway, yeah, it didn't get too much scouting done. I guess he did see the Hellion, he did see the Marine. Again, Clem is just crazy with these nades, man. Continuously just shooting away at those Stalkers, not allowing too much to happen there. Killing off 3 workers using the Hellion and the Reaper. I don't think he wanted to go any further. He saw the 2 Stalkers here. It is kind of obvious then, you know, well, very likely you can kind of assume that it will be Blink. That is what it is right here, right now. So let's, you know what, with that Blink, we're going to have to wait and for the moment, of course, when those Widow Mines arrive, see if they still manage to get some work done. Of course, there's nothing here just yet. Got to scoot on by that other pylon here. Immediately scouted though, of course. ShoWTimE going to the position where he needs to be for the interception. Just having some other Stalkers on the other side as well. So that matter of fact pretty blocked up right now. Would probably have to stay there for a little bit here until ShoWTimE has to use those Stalkers elsewhere. Or maybe forgets about it, tries to use them elsewhere. if some sort of an opportunity arrives where ShoWTimE is not paying attention, when there's an opening on this side, for example, or on this side, there's already an option for him to go this way, but you know what, ShoWTimE too on top of things right now for him to really try and take that risk. So nothing else is really happening. Oh, my bad, disabling the sound. Alright, what else are we seeing here? There should be a bit of a timing attack coming out of Clem, very standard, together with some Widow Mines, I assume. Yeah, alright, there we go. More Widow Mines in that production right now. More and more Stalkers are being created. Now, the great thing about this as well, right, these Stalkers, they are kind of preoccupied with the Widow Mine drop, so that means that the Stalkers that ShoWTimE is going to be able to send across the map to try, first and foremost, to get a glimpse at what Clem is doing, and also, of course, to try and pick off units before they actually arrive here. So that is just 2 Stalkers. They do manage to get a Marine still, but it's going to be a lot more difficult to shoot down and snipe Marauders and stuff like that. Seems a little bit undoable, actually. Here we have them. Okay, there's the Widow Mine drop now coming on in. It's going to get one of the Zealots. Once they get that Widow Mine out there again as well, but does pay the price there. Loses the Medevac and the Widow Mine. And does have still 2 more of those Medevacs coming in with quite a bit of bio. And the Widow Mine's actually killing off the War Prism there. Quite a blunder from ShoWTimE, letting that one fly over both of those. Bit of a missed micro there, but you know what? It looks like he will have enough here to keep Clem at a distance, keep him at bay, and not allow him anywhere near the mineral line here right now. Clem, though, does he really mind this? He's already going for that 3rd base, making more Widow Mines as well. Macroing up behind this rather nicely. That +1 for ShoWTimE, about to finish up as well. It's very important for those gateway units, of course, especially the Zealots and such. Making it a little bit more easily to deal with the bio forces, especially if they are being healed up and stuff like that as well. So overall, doesn't need that much. Another Widow Mine drop coming in here. Lovely, preoccupying the forces and the attention of ShoWTimE. And it looks like, you know what, those Widow Mines getting 6 kills there. There is a War Prism being set up as well. It's Clem moving back with his entire forces, so should be in a position to defend against that as well. It seems like he is taking just the kills that he can get and now moving backwards. But ShoWTimE actually pinning down the army of Clem here in the middle of the map as that War Prism comes in once more for Zealots here. The Widow Mine's helping out a little bit. Want to burrow in the ground, but he wants to get them on top of that War Prism, it looks like. Wants to target that one on there, and there we go. There, that's a lovely shot, actually. Wonderfully done so far. The armies in the middle looks like they have kind of gone both their separate ways, although, you know, it's ShoWTimE kind of trying to see how much Clem actually sent to the main base to try and deal with this. It's not too much though. Still has a reasonable amount of forces here to defend against this other attack, but Zealots coming in from the flank area, and that could be trouble here. Finally, the main base is cleared up again, but that 3rd base now in a little bit of trouble still. War Prism alive and well at this time too. It's going to provide more reinforcements, and that might just be a little bit too much to handle here for Clem as he's trying to micro every little bit that he can, lifting up a Marauder there behind the force fields, trying to get them on the other side again. I wouldn't mind getting a reasonable connection, but overall, 27 workers. That is a ridiculous amount of workers to lose here. And Clem is in a rough situation. I'm not quite sure if he is going to be able to hold off here. As, well, he does have EMP right now. He does have some Ghost on the way. He had 1 available right there, reasonably connecting. But there's still a reasonable amount of those sentries as well. And there are the force fields. Production of Clem now going down as well. As he's already kind of, you know what, he's still equal on workers overall. So if he does somehow manage to clean up the army of ShoWTimE here, that would be great. He would still be in an okay spot, but it looks like he's going to lose more of those. And even then, if he does sacrifice all those SCVs, is this still going to be enough? Another great EMP landing on those sentries, making life a little bit more difficult for ShoWTimE to keep pushing here. Liberators are going to join in as well. And Clem, even with all this pressure going on, still managing to, you know, attack up here, get those further along the path, units out in the shape of the Liberators and the Ghost, but it doesn't appear to matter. The Liberators get blown underneath and absolutely obliterated, and there it is. GG is called. Clem losing game number 1, and ShoWTimE sets the pace here. Gets himself the first W. Not too bad, not too bad. To be fair, the first initial attack of Clem there not doing too much. Then the Zealot War Prism attack doing quite a bit. Clem having to lift up that third base command center because of it as well, right? He had a lot of forces in the main base, not ready to defend at the front area, and that would definitely done him in there. And maybe, I'm not quite sure if that is the case, but it looks like, to me at least, that perhaps what was the saying? Oh, right, yeah, that perhaps when he did transition into Ghost and Liberators and stuff like that, maybe that did cost him a little bit of extra production time, right? You do need to make the Ghost Academy and stuff like that. And then you don't have as many Marauders, you don't have as many Marines in the initial fight, which means you might start to snowball there. As we saw, he did lose a lot of those forces already trying to get up to the ramp area to the second base, and then it was just not really in a good position anymore at all at any time to take that fight. Okay. Alright, Clem versus ShoWTimE, game number 2. Let's see what is happening. Another thing we have to remember. Yes, Clem is on an absolute tear at the moment, but still, he's been doing a lot of tournaments. He's doing a lot of games. He's playing an insane amount, really. And, like, Clem basically right now is the wardy of just players, right? He's, I guess, Bly as well. A lot of those players like to just farm out all those online cups. And Clem just really seems to be one of them as well. We have to just kind of think about how that is going to impact him as well, right? Is he going to just slow down after a while? Is it going to be too much? Is he going to have to take a little bit of a rest period as well? Or is he just going to be able to keep that momentum going? I'm not completely sure how that really pans out. That's an interesting question, actually, for someone that is a little bit more educated in the field of esports, but it's an interesting point to consider, of course. Anyway, in the top right side, we have that red Terran player right here. Once more, it's the Frenchman. He is from Team Liquid. He is Clem. In the bottom left, his opponent, the German. You know, they've always been national arch enemies. They are... Well, he is playing the entire German people. They are the Blue Protoss. Now, he is from Team Big, of course. He is a ShoWTimE. Alright. Alright. Very quick probe here. Might want to try to get a block on that command center on the low ground for a little bit. Always very annoying and frustrating to have to deal with. There he goes, rotating around. He knows the timings of this. There's still a bunch of money to be spent on that command center. Now just coming to the ground floor. And only now just setting up here to try and deal with this. Alright. Not the craziest of blocks there, but, you know, a little bit. A little bit, actually. Nothing impactful, I'd say, to the game. But ShoWTimE sees that nothing crazy is happening, and, well, actually, well, it is a second barracks right here. Did not manage to see that one. We'll have to wait and see what he's planning to do with that. I think that is part of some sort of a timing attack, right? Just a bunch of Marines and Marauders coming across the map here without too much support of factory or starport units. And that will, of course, land quite a bit earlier on, because you don't have to wait for those other structures to really complete. And, well, does still add in the factory too. Let's see if this is going to be a tech lab on this one. I would assume so, and there it is. Alright. Adept coming across there. ShoWTimE setting up ready for a robotics facility. Actually, not an opening you see very often, but I think one that works out pretty reasonably well against what Clem is doing, unfortunately for him. If he does go into... well, I'm not sure actually. He might go into a War Prism, which won't be too great, and then some Observers as well. But overall, Immortals. I mean, if we are going to see Marauders being constructed here, as many as I think we are, then that could be problematic for Clem, of course. I'm going to have to wait and see. Actually, going into the robotics bay very quickly. And I'm not 100% convinced that that is going to work out as timing-wise here for Clem either. Very interesting. Well, alright, I guess I'm going to learn something here. Reaper checking to see if that third base is going to be thrown down anytime soon. Doesn't seem to be the case, though. ShoWTimE needs to use that money right now for this right here. Is it going to be a Disruptor drop? That's kind of what I'm thinking here. Disruptor drop could be incredibly potent, of course, against those early big balls of bio. Even with the stim, very dangerous situation and could definitely backfire here. Will get themselves some medevacts as well. That's going to help out, of course. And actually, it's Colossus drop. Interesting. Alright, even with the War Prism speed here, it's not something you see every day. Was expecting that Disruptor drop a little bit more so, but you know what? I have been seeing this more and more often in some other play as well. I've not seen it being able to do too much, but maybe ShoWTimE with that War Prism speed here is going to be able to pull some War Prism magic off and get that to work out for him. So the Observer for ShoWTimE definitely seeing absolutely everything here. The Reaper seeing that this base is not all that quick. It seems to be a little bit delayed, of course, overall. And oh my dear. Okay, so he does get to see this. I suppose it's not very hidden here. Just taking some pot shots off these bio forces and now having to lift up in the medevacts here. That's awkward, isn't it? And Clem's entire plan right here kind of falls apart just because of that War Prism with the speed available. Being able to just torment the bio units, trying to get some work done here. I gotta say, this is working very nicely. This is kind of similar as when people play with those Blink Stalkers across the map and then just try to snipe out units. Yeah, you can just kite away with that Colossus now as well in this sense. Because you do have that speed. There's another stim actually. A little bit overstimmed, I'd say, from those Bioforces, but the Colossi aren't here just yet. One of the medevacts does fall as well. But overall, you know what, I don't think ShoWTimE minds this too much. As he is still sitting on a comfortable amount of the Colossi, reasonable army supply, very nice worker supply of course as well. With that third base already mining here. And Clem only just now making his own third. That timing attack going for a very quick, well, second barracks definitely needs to get a little bit more done. But ShoWTimE, you know what, just kind of winning in the build order there. The luck of the build order draw. Managing to get himself well, pretty much everything he needed. And after the Observer saw what Clem was doing, getting himself that many infantry units, it looked like he just knew he was perfectly fine trying to zap as many of those apart with the Colossus out in the field. Doing so wonderfully. Alright, Siege Tank is going to join in as well. Siege Tanks do very good against those Colossus, of course. Unless if they're not sieged up, that could be a problem. But, I mean, he is in the range of the Nexus here. Should be able to start shooting away at those probes. This is a reasonable sieged up position here. And that ShoWTimE now has to try and run into at some point and break. Alright, this seems to be the time where he does try to come in here. That one Viking on the left side taking a lot of damage from the Stalkers. But did manage to deal quite a bit with the Colossus as well. That one is extremely low, being picked up by the War Prism. Saved in the nick of time. Another siege tank coming in here. Very important to have that one set up and ready to go to try and target down the Colossus. As, of course, the siege tanks, they do shoot instantly. As opposed to Marines, I mean, yeah, they shoot instantly, but they need to be really close first and foremost. And they don't do that much damage against Colossi. The Marauders, they do pretty well against Colossi, but then you have the War Prism, of course, here for ShoWTimE, being able to kind of micro against those projectiles. And, well, he's trying his best here again to break this, but once more, ShoWTimE just showing some great control, being able to keep this at bay. Two more gateways coming in as well. ShoWTimE, he's losing quite a bit of mining here, actually. Let's take a look. Yeah, it's definitely quite in favor of Clem. Clem is committing here, takes down a Nexus, and that is a solid break here for him. Very nicely done. Now he needs to just retreat and make sure he doesn't die to some sort of a counter-attack. If he loses these two medevacs, that could be absolutely abysmal as well for him. It looks like he is going to lose one of them. He's going to try to just drop right on top of the Stalkers and take down as many of them as he can before these forces ultimately do fall prey to those giant ostriches with laser eyes. The four-legged ostrich. Okay, well, so far, are we seeing a transition from ShoWTimE? No, it looks like he is still committing to the robotics bay. I was kind of envisioning him mixing in disruptors here as well. I guess he doesn't have that much money, though, to do so at the moment. Wants to just make sure that he has enough of a buffer force for those Colossi, I suppose. And have enough as well to try and come in here with the Zealot drop. Look at that. War Prism just zoom along here. 4 Vikings trying to chase it down. Will they be able to get more than one shot off here? It doesn't look like they're even going to break the shield. Unfortunately, does lose 7 workers. Not too bad. Marines are here to try and help out. But it manages to escape. He just flew over 3 Terran bases. And, well, lost about half his hull damage. Not too bad, not too bad. ShoWTimE showing the absolute power of the speed prism here. Being able to utilize that very nicely. And there are the disruptors now being mixed in as well. As a Ghost Academy coming into the mix. Getting set up ready to be used in the next play for Clem. Prism still alive, sending a couple of Zealots here to scout for potential drops. Needs to be aware if anything is coming in here. And unfortunately for Clem, those Marines trying to do a little bit of the same here. Then across the map, want to find out whether or not there is a 4th base already being constructed. And will find himself some pylons here. ShoWTimE. I think that probe now. There we go, there's the Nexus. Doesn't get too much, it looks like that Clem does see this. Clem's army is very scary at the moment, actually. Against what ShoWTimE has, it looks very potent. As long as those siege tanks manage to get in a good position, I feel like this could be an incredible trade for Clem. But of course, that is always the question. Is he going to be able to be set up in a siege mode here in time? Or is there gonna be some nasty accidents? Oh dear lord, he's not in siege mode just yet. He's taking a second as well. Now sieging up as ShoWTimE is moving backwards here. Needs to be quick on the draw, needs to move forward. ShoWTimE. Oh, coming in again. Those Vikings trying their best to keep those Colossi at a distance. They're coming in. Most of those are dead now. The siege tanks as well getting blown up by the disruptors. Vikings landing in the back here, trying to snipe away those valuable units. Now that all the Colossi are dead, and it looks like Clem is moving forward. Is he going to be able to break ShoWTimE? I don't think he is. He didn't manage to deal quite a bit of damage there. Now, I mean, overall, killing off 3 Colossi there for the price of those siege tanks, personally, I do still think that that is an alright trade. The siege tanks more so a thing for the earlier parts of the game here. Later on, it is, you know what, with more bases coming up, you may be in a better position to have a little bit more of a mobile force, using the Liberators instead against the Disruptors and Ghost. Stuff like that becomes available. And you don't need to have that enormous splash damage as much anymore. All the range. Another Zealot little run by here with the War Prism. Definitely gonna be able to do quite a bit of damage there. As Clem, though he is setting up one more time, is not gonna take the bait here, is just sending some reinforcements. Only lost 3 workers there, that is not too shabby. Need to be careful, nice EMP there. Disruptor shot, managing to get a good connection, getting a massive connection there actually. And that may be able to save ShoWTimE's base here. Just barely though, as Clem still pushing forward, being aggressive here. Equal on upgrades right now as well. Planetary Fortress on that 4th base established as well. Another run by. There's not that many forces. There is the stim though. So Clem, yeah, such an incredibly quick player, isn't he? Able to just jump on everything that's happening at the same time, it looks like. Liberator, gonna make life difficult here for ShoWTimE. Needs to start to deal with those. There we go, as he will move forward. Clem is trying to hunt down that War Prism. He's also moving in right through the middle. The Liberator is still alive, still a potential threat that ShoWTimE has to consider. Needs to keep a couple of forces on this side now. So maybe, you know, not killing those all the workers. Oh, lovely pick off on that Disruptor there. That's so many Archons, not too many Ghosts right now. The EMP whiffs actually, and there's a big lag spike here. Onigami. I think that is either one of the French casters or one of the Chinese casters here. And yeah, that was Onigami. Should be better now. Okay. There was a big lag spike, guys. Much lag. It froze. Now we're continuing onwards. It's always annoying when that happens right at the start of a battle or a potential battle. And it should be good now. Have it, you know what, Clem, his army supply is slowly growing here. I'm surprised with the small amount of ghosts. It's just 1 ghost, really. I wouldn't mind seeing like 3 or 4 against these amounts, this amount of those Archons. Although there's no, is there a storm? Right, there's no storm actually. Maybe ShoWTimE feeling that Clem is just too good at using those EMPs and ghosts that it's just not worth going for them. Killing of 1 Marauder, you know what, better than nothing I suppose here. Continuing onwards, there's a big drop in the main base that Clem needs to deal with now as well. Sending a couple of those Liberators here. Moving in another Liberator, well, it's still set up here, still waiting. As Clem just doesn't want to get killed off by those Disruptors, of course. Nice targeting there, making sure that he doesn't take massive damage from those. Ooh, look at that, great splitting, and that is just absolutely amazing. That was a crazy amount of splitting happening there from Clem, and now he's going to be able to push in here perhaps and take down some of those very costly Archons for not too hefty a price. Clem has managed to clean up his main base and now scanning the top left side, seeing another base there, potential another victim for him to jump on top of. Liberators need to get sieged up here again, forcing ShoWTimE a little bit further backwards once more. And there's the reinforcing ghosts. Those are very necessary. Those actually, look at how low those medevacs are right now. Maybe Clem would do well with taking a little bit of a breather here. Those forces as well, his are getting overstimmed rather rapidly. Those Colossi now basically needing just almost half a shot at those Marauders, as not much of them are going to get healed up right now, but he's pushing forward. He's going to try to commit here. Dark Templars trying to be utilized by ShoWTimE, but Clem is on top of things. Won't let that bring him down here. Has that missile turret on that planetary fortress. Marauders. Oh, Dark Templar now coming in from behind here. They're blocking up the army of Clem, as Clem is still trying his best here. All the Disruptors get cleaned up. And still, it looks like, you know, that army of his very orange. He's going to have to stim again here as Tim runs out. And that's going to bring most of his army units all the way down to the 1 HP area. And that's not where you want this to be. Especially with such little energy on those medevacs. And he may have overcommitted here a little bit. But, man, he's bringing this so close that man, I'd have difficulty deciding to move backwards here as well. As it really does feel like he's just on the verge of making ShoWTimE's main army's forces collapse here and maybe push on through. It's not happening just yet though, and that is of course a problem for him. Dark Templar here, looks like there is again another missile turret. Ooh, another engagement here. Needs to be careful, those Colossi with the Disruptor ever so potent. Okay, nice use of that defensive disruptor there on his third base. Being able to keep things safe. Why are there 40 probes here? What in the what? ShoWTimE. Nice. That's a bit much. Ooh, big disruptor shot as well. Needs to keep this alive. I mean, with 40 probes here, this is half his entire probe line, basically, on this one base. I'm not quite sure what they're all doing here. But it looks like it doesn't matter too much. ShoWTimE just barely inching out ahead here in this fight. But the Viking count is growing. The stock is not that plentiful anymore. Clem might be able to start pushing in here. Ooh, catching himself another one of the disruptors. It's always a nice little birthday present here for Clem, even though it's not his birthday. But you know what? It's close enough. April 8th. It was a while ago. 1 month. I have Wikipedia standing open here. I don't know this out of the top of my head, but... Alright, yeah, I mean... There's still 40 probes here. Why does he... Does he have nothing? 22 over here. So, ShoWTimE looks like he is running dry a little bit. Let's take a look at the overall income graph. Yeah, Clem still having so many more bases right here that are fully saturated and doing a good amount of mining. And it's mostly because ShoWTimE has not been able to take these bases just yet. Or even the one in the middle here, which ShoWTimE is looking for now as well. There's no missile turrets anywhere to be seen in this natural base. Although luckily there's no more SCVs really there either. Clem now sitting at 114 army supply with that income advantage. Might be able to start really pushing in here. This could be a tipping point. I think ShoWTimE may have just not enough money here to keep this crazy production going, and he might be running dry pretty soon. Gonna have to wait and see. He still has a disruptor. Well, yeah, he has 2 disruptors. So that could always turn the tide. There goes one of the shots, not really connecting all that nicely. Vikings keep wailing away at those Colossus. Colossi, and it looks like a very valuable base here for ShoWTimE. Is most likely gonna fall. The Zealots trying to rush in here. The Disruptors trying to find targets, but there's just... Oh my god, the great splits from Clem once more. And here it is, guys. This might be the moment, as we can see. ShoWTimE has to tap out. With that base lost, he was going to lose that base in the top left as well. And that definitely would have gone down too. And then he would have just been in a horrible position where he would not be able to replenish his sources whatsoever anymore. So Clem, very patient, but continuously super aggressive though as well at the same time. Which kind of feels weird, because he was just continuously pushing in. Thought he was overextended a couple of times there. Really thought he was about to just capitulate. Lose those low HP Marauders and just get snowballed by a bunch of Colossi and stuff like that. But, well, luckily for him, did not happen that way. And ShoWTimE being the first one to kind of run dry on those minerals. Not expanding enough, not keeping enough bases up afloat. Although he never really tried to expand to the bottom right side. I guess he just didn't want another flank to open up here for Clem to try multi-pronged harassments through. But then again, that seems a little bit tricky, right, for ShoWTimE. That is his playstyle. He likes to play defensive. He likes to just absorb all the waves of attacks that come in. And he was giving a really good opportunity there, right? He had Clem continuously attacking the forefront of his brute force army. And yeah, I feel like Clem did kind of play into how he would like to see Clem play. And yet Clem managed to trade more efficiently here. He managed to take more bases as well, of course. I'm not sure if he traded more efficiently. That's something you'd have to see in the replay, but definitely felt like he was trading efficiently. Maybe a bit less so efficiently than ShoWTimE overall, but that was okay because he had more bases. He had more money coming in. Alright, anyway. We're tied up now, 1-1. In the bottom right side, we have the blue Terran play from Team Liquid. The Frenchman, he is Clem. In the bottom left side, the red Protoss fighting for Germany. Wow, okay. Well, Germany and fighting for Team Big. He is ShoWTimE. Yeah, I mean, if he is not able to take more bases and he's stuck with like 40 probes on a base and 28 probes on another base, that's just abysmal. That's not where you want to be at those times when you're just continuously trading out forces fairly equally. So yeah. Looks good for Clem. But, to be fair, not too much should change here for ShoWTimE to turn some game like that around, right? One great disruptor shot extra coming in. Could have switched that game up its head. Really was on a nice edge there for a long time. Clem here, trying to find that probe, does find it. Send another SCV. It almost looked like he did want to send that SCV out on the map here, but maybe that was just a setup. Oh! Yeah, you do not see that if you just walk by. That is the fun thing about this map. And Clem here, he's gonna be scratching his head. Okay, he is coming around this area right now. He's gonna be able to see this gold base being taken by ShoWTimE very early on. Did not expect this, and I mean, ShoWTimE did pick this map, right? This is his map choice, so maybe he has something to show us here. Shows why this quick gold base is the best thing for Protoss right now. Let's wait and see. Some Reaper trying to scout. Not going to be able to get in here, unfortunately, with that depth standing on that high ground. Twilight Council as well coming in. Could there just be a bunch of zealots or something like that? Is it going to be... Oh, look, using a recall immediately here to get his probes. I guess that helps, yeah. There's no downtime in your mining this way. Or at least not that much, right? Pretty cool to see. I guess that is more efficient than the overall chrono you could use to get some more probes out, right? Because this is still quite a long distance for those probes to walk. First Adept does come in here, and we have Clem going for double Hellion production. Hellions could be incredibly potent behind these mineral lines over here to deny the mining, but are they going to be in time? And especially with that blink upgrade coming in as well, that could be trouble. Now, overall, this does mean that ShoWTimE, of course, does have 2-3 entrances to try and protect here. And he only has 3 units, 2 Stokes and a Adept at the moment. He's going to have a 4th one pretty soon. But yeah, I mean, 4 Hellions and a Reaper here could still be quite capable of just rushing down the front door. Although, you know what, ShoWTimE does have this blocked up, so we're going to need to see a little bit of a Reaper nade micro trick here coming in. Let's take a look. He's just going to go for the gold base, it looks like. No, okay. I was a little bit frightened there. Oh my dear lord. Lovely block. And the Hellions are not going to get in there. ShoWTimE very quick there on the trigger. Going to be able to keep his main base secure. That could be the end of things already, right then and there. Oh, Clem trying again, seeing whether or not that gateway is still there. Fortunately for him, it is still there. And now he loses 2 of those Hellions and, well, without doing anything, really. Not being able to get anything done there. There is a Raven on the way. That might be a little bit more fortunate in his attempts to try and stop the mining for ShoWTimE here on that gold base. Aliens and Reaper attempt another run by, but another one of their friends does get just, yeah, snuffed out. Alright, Observer and Blink Stalkers. Slowly inching their way towards the bottom side of the main base. There is a siege tank already available. There are a couple of those marines as well as the Raven, of course. Raven with those auto turrets should be able to keep these stalkers at bay. Doesn't get that auto turret out in time though. It looks like, yeah, he does lose a couple of those stalkers overall, but killing a Raven, killing a siege tank. This is looking really good here for ShoWTimE. I have to say, ShoWTimE really doing a great job. How did this Hellion get on this side? Whoa, okay, this got cleaned out. Okay, that's it, why. Did ShoWTimE do that? He must have, right? To try and get his stalkers across before Blink finishes? I think he may have. That's, well, makes most sense to me. Anyway, third base for Clem on the way here, as the third base for ShoWTimE already available. Let's take a look at that income advantage here. It's not that much, actually. I would have expected the gold minerals to be a little bit more advantageous here. But still, of course, you know what? It's more than nothing. Still better than nothing. Still a great little benefit here for ShoWTimE. He's going to be able to get a couple more units than you would normally be able to get as Protoss at this time. Especially considering that Clem hasn't been able to put any pressure on the economy here of ShoWTimE either. Now he's just waiting. He's checking to see if Clem is going to be moving out here, and that is exactly what he's doing, it looks like. Bringing a large portion of his forces to the front door. Still keeping a good amount over here as well in the main base. He kind of has to, right, against those Blink Stalkers. I mean, he tries to move out here to a third base location, or even to try and do harassment. And that could just absolutely destroy him here. He is going to come in for the Observer. Nice, nicely done. Kind of negating a little bit of what those Blink Stalkers are going to be able to get done here. Is there another Observer? There is no Observer. There is a War Prison though on the way. Brings a couple of those Zealots as well. Brings more Stalkers, in fact, too. That could be quite a good amount of harassment capabilities here for ShoWTimE. Killing off more of those SCVs here. Denying the gold sweet minerals for Clem. Desperately wants them to try and catch up here. Oh my dear lord, 2 medevacts filled with units being called out of position here. All the Zealots coming in, and those Stalkers retreating at the exact right time when ShoWTimE could just intercept that one. Lovely stuff so far. Now, the Warp Prism managed to avoid the minefields here. It's going to be able to warp in a gazillion of Zealots in that main base. That is looking problematic. Clem sending absolutely everything back home again. But then again, at the same time, there's a massive attack coming right for this third base. And Clem, it does not look good for you right here, buddy. I think we are seeing a GG coming in, and that's exactly what happens. GG! ShoWTimE takes game number 3, sets himself back up in the advantage here. Lovely stuff, lovely stuff. Okay, well, that is game number 3, guys. ShoWTimE. You know what? As long as he doesn't take that early game damage, if he manages to get some done himself as well, picking off 2 medevacs full of units, pretty much there. You know what? That doesn't hurt. That never hurts anyone who does that. Unless if you're the Terran player in that scenario, that's always a little bit abysmal. But yeah, Clem, yeah. Not getting his stride there. Not being able to slow ShoWTimE down. And, oh well. Oh well. Alright, guys. Game number 4 will be played on Purity and Industry. We still have 3 other maps available as well. Of course, Eternal Empire, Zen, and... we played Everdream. We played... There's one more. I'm forgetting about one. Nightshade. Nightshade as well, of course. Yeah. Eternal Empire, Nightshade, and Zen. You know what? Zen I'm not surprised with. We haven't played that one yet. Although Clem might be, you know, it's still pretty good for him. If he does decide to go for it. The other two, I'm a bit surprised that we got to play Golden Wall and Purity and Industry before that, actually. So, interesting. Anyway, there is ShoWTimE. We have Mage, Miguel, Onigami, every caster in here as well. By the way, guys, we would not be here without our sponsors. So I want to do a quick shout out for one of our sponsors right now as we are in between games. They are G Fuel. What are you drinking right now? Well, if it's not G Fuel, the drink of esports, it's probably not really worth drinking anyway. So you might want to stop doing that and get yourself some G Fuel because it ramps up your energy from 0 to 100 real quick. It sharpens your focus so you can keep your eye on the prize. It increases your endurance because, as we all know, gaming is a marathon, not a sprint. You need to keep that energy going for a long time, especially in Best of 9 series, as we're seeing right here. And lastly, G Fuel hydrates you so that you only thirst for victory. So, you know what, guys? Go get yourself some G Fuel, the official drink of esports. And stay hydrated. Just keep yourself hydrated. Now, let me do a cool thing here. Right afterwards. Alright, good, good. Also, we do have the Matcherino page as well. So if you haven't checked that one out already, definitely worth a little look over here. Let me try and take you guys there. Oh, come on, little... stinger. It's not working well today. Anyway, it's a bit choppy. I'm not sure what that is about, but anyway. So all you want to do over here, I'm not sure if the codes are still available. Let me check, actually. Let me show you guys how you add some money to this prize pool for free. Absolutely nothing you have to pay for this. All you got to do is sign in here with either a Twitter or a Twitch or anything like that. That's when you press contribute, which is the menu you get over here. And you can get a full buck, actually a full $1 added into the prize pool just by filling in this code. Oh, it's been used up. Alright, well, that has been done. Good job, people, with that. And you can get yourself a replay pack. So, that is something else. Alright, guys, let's go into game number 4, right? Game number 4. Yeah, game number 4. In the 3 o'clock location, we have the blue Terran player. He is fighting for Team Liquids and the country of France. He is Clem. Viva la France. In the 12 o'clock, there is the red Protoss. He's the German. The Deutsche Mann. He is ShoWTimE, fighting for Team Big. Trying to do a little bit of harassment with that probe. Not getting too much done here. Like the slow zooms, but I have not really found a good use for them just yet. Just slowly moving the camera. I think these are pretty much the best shots you can get with it. Just like a little probe hiding around. Gonna see there is a full wall of here for Clem. And a quick factory as well being added in. Let's see what ShoWTimE actually managed to see here. Not too much. There is only a single gas, so... could this be a Hellion drop? Seeing the factory position, I wouldn't be surprised. Could, of course, also be those Widow Mines. Could be very cool. Well, yeah, I think that's going to be it. One of those. I don't think we're going to see too much coming out of the starboards here. Most likely just a medevac, as we do not have that second gas. And ShoWTimE responds by going with a Stargate here. Right. Not too bad. Not too bad. Second base now. Only now. Getting constructed. How many Hellions do you think he's going to make? Just 3? I mean, 3 Hellions, they do one-shot probes. And... well, I mean... if he makes 1 Phoenix, though, that's going to be a problem. But I don't think he has much more time to then go for 3. The Adepts... reasonable way to try and deal with those Hellions, but... we're going to have to wait and see. There's the Phoenix right now. I wouldn't mind seeing the medevac going in with a bunch of Marines either, right? And then the Hellions just rotating through the map here, trying to go into the natural base to kill some probes there. It's also a very viable strat, but instead Clem is going to go with these Hellions straight over across. There is the Phoenix, though. Yeah, that's trouble, isn't it? Quickly retreating now. Tail firmly tucked between his legs. Needs to try and find something else to do now, because this is not looking all too swell. Not the greatest of starts to a Hellion harassment strategy. Is he going to try again? Yeah, okay, he is going to try it again. This time around, going across a whole bunch more. The 2 Phoenixes, they are busy picking up those SCVs, which means they won't have energy for a little bit here to do another pickup. As those Hellions, I mean, they are going to get closer and closer to the mineral line here. And there we have it. A couple of them already being burnt up. Immediately picking up again. Gonna go to that natural. 2 more Adepts are available, though. Ooh, a shot being hit on the Adepts. Unfortunately, not what you like to see here for Clem, of course. But a quick escape nonetheless into that 3rd base. And, you know, it keeps everything alive here somehow, some way. Although I may have spoken too soon, as 4 Phoenixes now all going down towards Georgia, where that medevac is hiding. Guess this is Georgia from now on. Right here, this place. Anyway. I guess I just called the Phoenixes the devil as well. They do kind of look like the devil, right? 2 horns on there on the front. Yeah, could see like a little Diablo. The little Diablos. Oh, might be able to pick one off. No, isn't going to be able to. Close. Close, especially with the slow fields, of course. May have gotten another one of those shots of those Vikings. Didn't happen, though, so... gets out of there. Now, this has me a little bit worried for ShoWTimE, honestly. Looking at the army supply, 43 versus 22 seems to be a big deal, especially considering most of that is in these Phoenixes. 5 Phoenixes. That takes up a whole lot of it. And the rest of it are those Adepts, of course. Adepts are pretty good. The shield battery as well, pretty darn good. But you know what? You don't have that shield battery overcharge right now available, so I am not quite sure if this is going to be working out for him. Clem should still be able to have enough forces. There should be a lift up on those SCVs as well here. But the Vikings doing a pretty good job at zoning them away. Okay, so he is just keeping the energy around here to pick up the Cyclones instead. He engages right before the bunkers get close to finishing here. Doesn't want to have them anywhere near finishing up. But you know what? With the siege tank now as well. The siege tank going uncontested there for a while. Phoenix is not picking up on that one. Clem might be able to start pushing on through here. Especially with ShoWTimE fighting this far removed from that shield battery. Siege tank very well protected now by those almost finished bunkers here. Zealots are going to have a hard time. Although there's no Zealots here, but also the AI is going to be attacking that bunker first and foremost, of course. You do not micro that properly. Okay, siege tank. Putting the pressure on this natural base. ShoWTimE ShoWTimE. His army supply is growing. And I mean, for a, you know what, a guy that was half the supply with that of his opponents, army-wise, and most of that being in Phoenixes, so far I'd say he's been able to handle himself very well. Let's see if that's going to continue onwards, though, as 3 bunkers now completed up here, filled up to the brim with those Marines, putting down a engineering bay here as well, trying to make some sort of a natural wall, or an unnatural wall, I should say. Gonna try to keep those stalkers shooting at those bad boys instead. Screw up with the AI, make it very difficult for those probes to get a full surround going. The bunkers shooting away as heavily as they can. The siege tanks being picked up here, but you know, those Phoenixes, they're getting low. They're being picked off right now. Targeted down. Siege tanks still standing. 3 bunkers still standing as well, and a whole lot of Marines to boot. ShoWTimE is in a lot of trouble now. Really wanted to break the camel's back right then and then. It looks like we may be coming close to a GG right here, right now, guys, as Clem is just setting up absolutely everything here. That is looking to be everything he needs for a victory. A lot of zealots now coming in. I think the zealots, are they going to be enough? They're not. They are definitely not. Alright, GG is called. Clem tying up the series once more. I am taking another drink out of the... Oh, god damn it. I'm not good with this. So I'm taking another drink from the package. Hello! Ah, man. Alright, so, whew, man. Clem doing pretty well there. I'm still here, guys. I'm still here. Hello. There we go. Oh, man. Clem. That was a crazy push. And that's always the difficulty you see when the Protoss does try to attempt to go for those Phoenix numbers, right? Always when they go above like 4, I feel. That's when it definitely starts to be dangerous. Even 4 Phoenix is a little bit dangerous if you don't manage to pick up too much on the way over to your base, right? Intercept some sort of a medevac, intercept some of the siege tanks, stuff like that. Pick them up, take them down before they actually get into position. It's going to be rough. It's going to be extremely rough as you just don't have the ground forces to really help out in the situation. Map choice will be for ShoWTimE. Of course, as we mentioned before, he can pick between Zen, Eternal Empire, and he can pick between Nightshade. Let's see what he picks. It's going to be Nightshade. Alright, alright. A good job there. So I will open myself up a drink. Alright. Guys, we're already at game number 5 here. We're tied up once more, 2-2, which means it's basically a best of 5 now. We're starting fresh. It looks like it might be as much a game for endurance as it is just for overall StarCraft 2 dominance. And you know what, the younger players usually a little bit better at the endurance test, but then again, the Clem has been going for a while now. Has been trying his best for a reasonable amount of time to win a lot of online cups, right? So he's been going hard for a long time. I'm not quite sure if he has all the gas in the tank that he needs, even with his young age, to bring out a whole bunch of macro games right here, right now, as that maybe is going to be what is required, depending on what ShoWTimE does, of course. If he does go for those Phoenixes again, I'd say just go for another one of those bio attacks, because those seem to be working out absolutely lovely against those Phoenix openers. Anyway, in the bottom right side, there is the blue Protoss. He's fighting for Team Big. He's our German. He is ShoWTimE. Top left, Red Terran, the Frenchman, the youngster. He is Team Liquid's one and only Clem. One of their new additions, of course, got signed together with ShoWTimE around the same time period, joining Team Liquid, one of the most prestigious overall StarCraft 2 teams that there is. especially for the foreign side of things. Has been around for ages and ages. And every time I still kind of feel nostalgic whenever you see a Liquid player. Even the newer ones, I feel nostalgic to the period of time when they had that rivalry going with Team EG. And now, you know what? Man. I just don't feel like there's really that other Titan in the western side that kind of can bring the same amount of history and the same amount of high level players. Alright, ShoWTimE keeping himself busy. Keeping Clem busy too. Slight delay, you know what? Did have like 80 minerals before that command center did get put down, so nothing to scoff at. Slight little things definitely do help out. As ShoWTimE now just opening up with the regular macro once again. Same for Clem here. Doesn't add a safety bunker so far. We haven't really seen that many safety bunkers from Clem overall anyway, right? I guess we did see a couple of times. Is he going to do it right now? I think we have seen actually a couple of safety bunkers every single time. Yeah, come to think about it, I'm pretty sure he always made the safety bunker. It's useful to see though at what time he is doing it. And of course, if you want to try to analyze these players, their play, if you want to try to learn from them, definitely go check out the Matcherino page. You can buy yourself the entire replay pack for just $3, right? So pretty much the price of a cup of coffee or something like that. Pretty nice cup of coffee anyway. A reasonable one, right? That's coffee that is way more expensive. But anyway, enough of that. It's not too expensive and you will be able to get some high level play. And it looks like, you know what, you're going to get some extra bang for your buck as these players have been just going back and forth here. 2-2, we're tied up again. And you know what, I don't feel like that is going to be ending pretty soon, because every time one of these guys managed to take a victory, it looked like the other player was just in a lot of trouble. Clem wants to trade here. Does go of the Adept ultimately, but loses the Hellion and the Reaper. And his scouting potential, of course, as well as ShoWTimE still having a hallucinated Phoenix. Getting a full scout off here. Clem now in the dark. Not gonna know really what is happening here. He did see this gateway. Let me see what else he saw. Absolutely nothing. This is all he knows. That's it. That's not much scouting right there. Doesn't know about the third base timing either, of course. Which is another reason why you do want to keep that Reaper alive. Or even the Hellion running in is something you see trying to be done a little bit more often recently as well. With that one Hellion and the Reaper. But ultimately, it is a very rare occurrence. Like, the Protoss, they shouldn't take damage from that, right? I know there's a lot of things where you say, like, that people shouldn't take damage from it. Widow Mine drops, stuff like that, right? Wouldn't expect people to take damage from it, but I feel like that is more acceptable to take damage from those, because it is such an incredible volatile thing that can go wrong very quickly. But one Reaper and a Hellion, at that stage of the game, you should have the forces in the locations to kind of hold that off, especially because it can't just fly in from some unexpected corner. Clem here is gonna have to leapfrog a really long way across the map here. And you know what, just by the incredible overall patient play from ShoWTimE right here, I hope Clem doesn't commit to this, because I don't feel he's gonna have enough forces once he finally gets there. ShoWTimE's gonna be able to have prep for this for about 2 minutes at the pace that we're going at right now for Clem to walk across the map here. Trying to take a little bit of a fight. Does take out a Stalker or two. Just one. Alright. Almost killing off 2 though, to be fair. 3 siege tanks. Reasonable positions. Hopefully for Clem, those Stalkers will move in here. But you know what, looks like he's just going to retreat. And I think that is the right call. It took him such a long time to start moving across the map here. And there are a good amount of Stalkers now coming around trying to intercept reinforcements. Instead, they find the main army going on a retreating path, and that's gonna, you know what, that's gotta feel good for ShoWTimE here, knowing that he's put that much of a dent into the overall aggression there, up to the point where it doesn't even feel like a viable timing attack anymore for Clem here. That's crazy. That's crazy. But then again, it's also a very good choice from Clem. Just deciding to move backwards instead of just committing to it anyway. Even though he's late, even though he took a little bit of poke damage from those stalkers already. Just to move back. Very, very wise choice. I was going to try again with a few more siege tanks, a few more marines, and a medevac now as well. He's going to be able to add some extra overall healing in there as well now, of course. Makes him a little bit easier to be used. Nice targeting from Clem. Shooting down those low HP stalkers. Another stim coming through. That's an hallucinated phoenix. For a moment I was afraid that that may be some sort of a war prism going into his main base. But you know what? Those stalkers, they are taking quite a beating here. Maybe overcommitting a little bit too much. And now Clem being set up very close here. SCVs as well being pulled. Be able to just tank a little bit of damage here and start putting down the bunkers once more. Cancelling. Those Stalkers still in a good position to take those down as well. Of course, those Immortals packing a heavy punch against those buildings, and yeah, look at them just falling very quickly there. Clem trying to run backwards. The siege tanks mostly shooting on the Zealots right now. Is that gonna be okay? Didn't target down the Stalkers as much, but you know what? His Marine Ball in incredible potent force right now, just crushing his way through, and it looks like Clem, with a wise retreat and coming back for round number 2, manages to take another game here and finally take the initiative, taking a first point on the board, where he's going to put himself in the more advantageous position. Every time so far, ShoWTimE being the one in the lead, or we had a tied up situation where Clem ties it up, but this time around Clem looks like he will be going for a very nice lead. Zealots intercepting the reinforcements, not a bad call. Doesn't look like Clem or well ShoWTimE giving up just yet. Still has a really good amount of forces anyway, and those Zealots, they definitely pack a mean punch against the reinforcements right here, so ultimately if he can clean this up, maybe he's going to be okay with the overall worker count that he has. He's going to have to take some really good trades, ultimately. ShoWTimE, his army supply, those Zealots, you know that, those siege tanks not sieged up right now. And Medevac's barely in the nick of time manages to get out of there with the siege tank that has low HP as well. One siege tank will fall, all the marines on the full retreat. Another Medevac, oh look at that, that is brilliant. Saving it, hiding it on the high ground here. And ShoWTimE, he doesn't have much to really send across. He lost his robotics facility, didn't he? I'm pretty sure he did. Yeah, it doesn't have anything to spot. Wait, did he lose it anyway? Oh, it managed to get out. Did it? I'm not sure, actually. Wow, I should have kept watch there. He shouldn't have been able to kill it as it was on that high ground. It could have been. It could have very well been. There's quite a couple of kills in those targets. Not sure how we're going to be able to see that. My apologies, guys. I didn't think that was gonna happen much there. Thought that was just a little bit of a moment in time where Clem was just going to wait for reinforcements to be capable of saving that siege tank and the medevac there. Right, storm on the way. I highly doubt that ShoWTimE will start the offensive here before that is completed. Oh my god, the marine not spotting this army in time. Not moving there in time to spot the army, I should say. Though he does see a couple of those units, of course, marching across the... I mean, that should give you a good indication that something is coming your way. And he's coming in again, checking to see what is up. And now he does see the entirety of the army. Storm almost ready. And with mostly marines being in the mix here, could definitely do quite a bit here for ShoWTimE. Clem repositioning those siege tanks, trying to get a little bit closer to the overall command center. And What's still having 3 siege tanks further back here as well on the high ground. It's going to be enough. So drop as well at the same time. Clem, you know what? He's going to put the go sign for ShoWTimE to go for it here. The storms on the wrong side right now. So a lot of the zealots do go down before the storms actually land. Targeting the High Templar with the siege tanks, killing absolutely everything. And GG is called. The storms not hitting the mark. The siege tanks do though. And that is going to give the victory to Clem. Especially with those forces as well, jumping on that third base and killing off quite a good amount of probes there as well. Alright, Clem taking the initiative here for the first time, being able to put himself 1 map ahead. Now, 2 maps still remain, Zen and Eternal Empire. I'm quite curious as the choice will be ShoWTimE. I'm assuming it's going to be Eternal, right? I would be surprised if ShoWTimE picks Zen over Eternal Empire. I would be very much surprised. Unless if he's planning like some sort of a proxy Stargate. It's still a map that can facilitate that rather nicely, of course. That is very doable still. But yeah, Clem finally being able to take some initiative there. Being able to put himself on the board with 1 point ahead. And ShoWTimE, he's got to be scratching his head there. Managed to, you know what, get ahead at 2 times already. And then kind of losing that overall progression. I'm going to have to wait and see which map Miguel gets to host for our players here. Anyway, yeah. Thank you all for watching, guys. Very much appreciate it that you're all here joining us today. And I hope you're having a good time. I mean, to be fair, we're watching Clem versus ShoWTimE, so I'm assuming you're going to have a good time, right? I mean, it's hard to really get better TvP than between these two, I suppose, at the moment in time. Unless if you're going to look around in Korea as well. I'm still hoping for a couple more in big macro games, right? Games that really go the long haul. And we still have the possibility to. There's still a potential maximum of 4 maps to be played here. Let me think this through. It is 3-2 right now, so that means Clem only needs to win 2 more games. ShoWTimE needs to win 3 more games. But in total, 4 more games can be played. ShoWTimE, though, would be extremely important for him to now take another map back again and tie up the Series 2. Because, you know what? If you have to win 3 games in a row against Clem, that is going to be very difficult. And Clem, if he wins this one, of course, is going to be on match point, so just needs to win 1 more. And, yeah. I really do think if ShoWTimE still wants to win this series, he needs to win this one. It's very important that he does. Otherwise, you know what, he's going to have to dig incredibly deep to still manage to get something done in this best of 9 series. All right, here we go, guys. Game number 6. Game number 6 coming up. Is it game number 6? You have 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 6. All right. Alright, let me do the scores and then I will bring you guys into the map. Here we go. In the top right side we have the red German Protoss player. He is fighting for Team Big. He is ShoWTimE. And we have the blue Terran going across the map here with one of his SCVs. He's the Frenchman for Team Liquid. He is Clem. That's a very, very quick SCV here. I'm very curious to see what he's planning to do with this one. Hiding a proxy over here. That is something we've seen happening before. And, oh, ShoWTimE. He's aware that this is a thing that happens. Scouting for it immediately. Cancelled. That's a good start. That's an incredible delay on that barracks. Clem does decide to go for the gas first instead. I guess maybe he already went to gas first, actually. Anyway, gateway now coming up as well as a engineering bay block. You might as well get some use out of that SCV, right, if he is here. That definitely makes sense. ShoWTimE, though, not having any of it. Sending out 3 probes in total to try and deal with this. Here's the cybernetic score. Kinda cute. Maybe trying to block that cybernetic score there for a moment. He's looking around, trying to find perhaps a... Oh my god, is he going to put down another engineering bay? No, he's not going to be able to. He might lose this SUV now as well. Yeah. Bit of an overcommittal, unfortunately. But overall, you know what? Delaying that Nexus a little bit here. After delaying his own barracks as well. A little bit, definitely nice to see. But that does mean that he did lose a little bit more money overall. Because he did lose the money from the production of the barracks initially, and then also, of course, the engineering bay. So, yeah. It's a shame you can't lift up unfinished Terran buildings into the air and then put them elsewhere. Because then he could have just lifted up that unproduced barracks, put it over here. Didn't have to make the NG bay, but you know what? I think that would be a little bit OP. I think that would be a little bit too much. That would be crazy, though. Think about all the options that would become available for Terrans if that were to be the case. But anyway. Enough fan fiction from me. We have an adapt on the way. We have the Twilight Council for ShoWTimE 2. And the German. Sitting pretty good so far. Everything going his way. Up until this moment in time for this game number 6. Still needs to pull it through to the end. Has to do the rest of the game as well. Nice delay on that command center. One more tiny thing going into ShoWTimE's favor here. Gonna be able to pick off another one of the Marines. Actually killing off all the Marines here. 3 Marines going down in total. Does lose the Adept, but definitely a worthwhile trade. Now the Stalker is going to be able to come in here as well. The one time Clem doesn't make a bunker, ShoWTimE immediately punishes him for it. I think this might be the reason actually why he did send that Stalker across the map here. Oh my god, that Alien is trying so hard to keep that Stalker on this side. I'm not sure why ShoWTimE wasn't just shooting at the same time as well, because that is, you know, that Stalker's not going to get away anyway, right? So you might as well try to take down another Marine or something like that. Maybe an SCV. Anything, really. But, yeah, cool to see ShoWTimE running across the map here with that Stalker after seeing there's no bunker there. Blink on the way. Medevac with the Widowmine drops. Where are all the Widowmines, actually? Yeah, it's just one at the moment. Alright, so double Widowmine. Could bring 2 Hellions across as well, right? If it really wants to. Isn't going to be the case though, just the 2 Widowmines, but with Blink here, already going to be created, already going to be done, especially with this Observe, or well, the Observer, the Flying Hallucination here, being able to see the Medevac coming in. ShoWTimE should have no difficulties cleaning this up. The 2 Hellions coming in from the other side, trying a different angle of approach. Unfortunately, aren't going to get anything done either. Now, ShoWTimE, you know what? Actually, the Medevac, ooh, might still be able to get some work done. It's going to delay the mining here overall. And Clem, I mean, he is really good at keeping the Widowmines not shooting, so that he delays more mining time here. Maybe a little bit overcommitting to unburrowing there. Not managing to get the reburrow in time. Okay, now, follow-up wise from these 2 players, we're seeing ShoWTimE throw down a whole lot of gateways. We're seeing the +1 coming out from Clem. Wouldn't be surprised to see Combat Shield and Stim, of course, as well. Combat Shield, there it is. Alright, so looks like just a regular 2 base timing attack follow-up here from Clem afterwards to try and put the harassment and pressure on ShoWTimE again. ShoWTimE, with this amount of gateways, he better be ready, man. That is... that's a good amount of production that he's going to be able to provide for his army to make that grow. Of course, the army supply for Clem right now quite heavily in his favor. Actually, 50% more in his favor right now. But, yeah, that could very quickly start to go the other way. A Raven. Interesting. Another one of those units that might very well die here due to the blink, but might be able to do some damage as well before that does happen. I'm not quite sure if the Raven actually... Oh, that is so close. That is so unfortunate. Doesn't see this observer. The observer, of course, with the added range, does see him. Okay, now he does see it. Whew. Didn't just blindly commit to it. That's another good thing here for Clem. But then, to be fair, ShoWTimE did kind of show that he has those targets here, right? If he had some targets over here with the blink, could have just jumped underneath as soon as that Raven overextends and tries his luck a little bit too much. Now, here comes the attack. Clem coming in. Let's take a look at the overall numbers. 21 army, well, Marines with 6 Marauders, 2 Medevacs and 2 Widow Mines here. There's not that many Protoss forces right now available, to be fair. Widow Mines do manage to get a good burrow here, a good position on that ramp. See if it's going to be enough though. Those Hellions, I'm not quite sure where they wanted to go. Zealots coming in here. Same time we are having the Marines engaging the Zealots. That Raven's still just sitting there on the right side actually. Not doing much of anything just yet. And you know what? Clem trying to lure ShoWTimE into the Widow Mines. He's not falling for it though. And this is just gonna pick them off as they do try to escape. Raven's still sitting here. Alright, so yeah, again, I'd say things just looking absolutely lovely here for ShoWTimE. Winning on most of the fronts here. Having more mining, having a better trade, having just the ropes in his hands right now. Yeah, killing off a couple of medevacs here. Why the hell not? Just finding those Widow Mines that are not burrowed right now. Gonna kill some... Almost killing his own medevacs there as well. And Clem, alright, may finally... Actually, no, that's a cannon there. Shouldn't be able to get anything done. Oh, auto turrets though. We'll be able to get some denied mining, but he loses the Raven as well. It's not really killing off too many workers. 2 workers only falling down here. You know what, this is... It's hard to see Clem really how he will be able to bring this one into the late game here. I think ultimately that he's just gonna run his head a few too many times in the wall here and get obliterated ultimately, as once again he's losing a good amount of those Marauders, as ShoWTimE just not dropping the beats at any time. Staying with a very clear head, staying on top of things, and now having Storm available as well. Ghost Academy almost finished up though, so the counter to that is almost available for Clem. Desperately could use that one quite heavily right now. But it still comes down to that micro. Let's see, is there already a 4th base established here? Only 3 orbitals, nothing else being produced so far. So yeah, Clem is in a pickle. He is inside of a pickle here, guys. He's not even in a pickle. It's just dead center of the pickle. Liberators and Ghost all in production right now, but so far only one of them available for their helping out with this attack. Yeah, those Liberators as well, not yet ready. Widow Mine trying to run burrow here, trying not to be set off on one single Zealot, and there are the Storms. Storms managing to land pretty reasonable. EMP's not doing the best of shots, so great splits overall from ShoWTimE, but you know what, the army of Clem not getting stormed either all too much, although those are some pretty reasonable storms. Is it too little, too late though? A lot of those Zealots still standing still. A lot of damage being taken by the economy as well for Clem though. But it does look like he will be able to hold on here, just barely being able to pick off absolutely everything. Now, will he be able to get some counter-aggression done on the other side of the map as well? Well, we're gonna have to wait and see. It's gonna be a rough one, honestly. It's a big ask, as there are already 5 High Templar here, more Zealots, and of course there are, well, let's take a look, 10 warp gates available to make the reinforcing units right now. It's gonna come down to those storms, and it's gonna come down to the EMP one more time here. How many storms are available? It looks like, you know what, getting really close to having at least 4 of them. 5 of them actually. They're all spread out as well, putting some of them into that War Prism. Clem's army still pretty dangerous here. 85 army supply versus 49. Might still be able to pull something out of the hat here. Is it going to be a rabbit? Is it going to be a big fat turd here? He's just going to be sitting there with a turret in his hands. Who knows? It's going to be close either way. Oh my dear lord, that storm, massive. There's no more EMPs to follow this up with. Oh, friendly fire with the Widowmine as well. But that army supply is still looking rather nice for Clem. Needs to break ShoWTimE here. Needs to punish ShoWTimE for really overcommitting to the other side of the map here. Or maybe it wasn't an overcommit, or maybe it was just exactly what he needed. Widowmines once again setting off here. And now all of them are gone. Another great storm. The Medivacs completely out of energy. There's not that much left. Oh, the War Prism gets picked off by a Widowmine there from the low ground. But still, those Medivacs very much out of energy. And those Stalkers and the Archon Immortal Zealots looking rather healthy. Let's take a look at the army units overall here. Okay, more Ghost on the way. There's one Ghost within the army right now. Clem might be able to squeeze himself in between some other corridor here to get some real damage dealt. Some Widowmines going towards this natural base. There is a cannon there, so shouldn't be able to get too much done. He forces off ShoWTimE waiting. He needs to be aware of what is happening now. He sees the army coming in here once more. No sentries either, though, to be fair. So that is definitely a benefit for Clem. But I'm not quite sure how much of a benefit that is. I think he sent back the two Widowmines. Saw that there was a cannon there. So they are back with the overall fight, and I think that's a really good choice. Storm being used to lower the HP of those Widowmines here. And they're still setting off. Setting off some of those Zealots. A reasonable amount of splash there as well. And once more, Clem kind of pushing, well, getting pushed backwards here. He's been on 3 bases for this entire time. If we look at the income graph here, that is an absolutely crazy amount in favor for ShoWTimE. But, Clem, time is ticking here, really. Look at the army supply. Yes, he was ahead quite a bit beforehand, but the army for ShoWTimE growing so much quicker. Oh, that War Prism. Storms, once again, trying to come into play here. More Widowmines being set up on all these locations. This is going a little bit crazy. More Archons coming in as well. EMPs looking pretty juicy there, getting a whole lot of those Zealots. All of them on half HP now, but of course, going up going up one of those ramps, still a very big ask here for Clem. If he doesn't want to try and commit that. He did get himself another base here, but that is just his main base actually. It's a little bit of a mirror image of a base in a way. Although, of course, it does still do everything you would require of it. I like the fact that some extra Vikings have been added in here. Even though we don't have those Colossi, getting that War Prism is one of the top priorities now for Clem. Killing off the War Prism could just win him the game here. Those Ghosts, actually 4 of them with a Marauder as well. All of them getting killed off, and the War Prism as well, though. All the 4 High Templar getting absolutely destroyed there. Not a single storm really available now, I believe, for Mr. ShoWTimE. No, sir. He has 1 High Templar remaining, and he doesn't have the amount of energy that he requires. He is going to have it pretty soon, though. Enhanced shockwaves on the way, but there's not that many Ghosts anymore remaining either. There's 1 Ghost, 2 Ghosts versus 1 High Templar right now. Disruptors coming in as well. Definitely going to be a big deal here for ShoWTimE. And make it even harder and more difficult for Clem to try and come in here. And nice going around on that left side with his big part of his force. Might start to get squeezed though on the front line as the entirety of the army of ShoWTimE now coming down quite hard on that right side flanking force. Clem just rotating backwards though, moving away from the overall fight there. Not taking too much damage to Zealots. potentially could delay some of the mining going on here. But let's take a look. Well, there's quite a bit of reinforcements available, actually. And Clem is just moving back with the entire right side flank here. Left side flank is in a pickle as well. Looks like he is still making this a bit of a fight, though. Microing backwards on the right side now as well. ShoWTimE, you don't see this very often. The Protoss actually splitting up their army as well. And I think Clem is going to try to get everything together right now and just get everything on one side of the flanks. But you know what? They both come together at the same time as well. ShoWTimE very nicely getting all of his forces together as well. Kills off a base. Doesn't overcommit this time. It looks like we'll just retreat here. Although, you know what, those Marines, Marauders and everything like that, very quick. Especially with the stim. Might be able to just chase this army down if they do try to retreat. But, you know what, just a couple of force fields there. Being able to securely keep the Terran forces away here. And that's going to allow ShoWTimE to move backwards. Start to get back to 200 supply again and go in one more time. And that is going to be the moment, I feel like, that Clem is going to be in the dangerous of situations that he has found himself in so far in this game. Yeah, I mean, army supply is still pretty equal, but just overall the mining for ShoWTimE is so much better. He's going to be able to get himself, well, most of the attacks that he would desire. Wouldn't be, you know what, upset if he does get some Stargates over here now as well, with the fleet beacon start mixing in some Tempest in case Clem starts to, well, at least get ready in case he needs them if Clem does get those Liberators as well. Small force of Terran units getting found out. Trying to sneak on by. Disruptor shots landing pretty nicely on that left side, but on the right side, Clem as well getting quite a bit of damage dealt to those forces. Look at how low they are right now. There's another run by though, too. Widow Mines trying to slow that one down, but there's just too many of them right now. Too many Zealots, that is. And man, this is going a little bit crazy. If we look at the supply though, that is not looking all that great. Continuously losing the mining that's happening here for him on that fourth base as well. Not what you like to see. ShoWTimE, look at that. 2k minerals and gas. 2k more resources coming in here as a income every minute. And now things are looking even worse. Alright, Clem is coming around from the other side. But it may be a little bit too little. It may be a little bit too late. Is this going to work out here? It's a valiant effort attempting to go for this much of a surround. And now just collapsing on the backside of this Protoss force. They do have another way of retreating, of course. Oh, there's storms coming through as well. On the left side, it looks like Clem has been able to stop all those Zealots from moving on forwards. Those Disruptors, they are the targets for Clem here. Needs to pick those off. Although, you know what, they have kind of shot their load here. Ah, Clem, it looks like he's just barely not gonna have enough. Actually, I didn't see those Zealots killing off all those SCVs there as well. Yeah, ShoWTimE being able to kill off Clem there in the end. And Clem, unfortunately for him, is finding himself in a tied-up series once more. Not gonna go ahead and take a very advantageous position. Still a tied-up map right now. Well, tied-up series. And the final map that is still available is going to be Zen. Of course, after this one, the map pool will reset for the final two games. So that is going to be a map pick once more for the loser. Whoever manages to win 2 games right now, we're basically in a best of 3. we went from a best of 9 to a best of 7 to a best of 5 to a best of 3. And holy moly, it's looking pretty good. Okay, guys. Zerg. You win Zerg. Yep. Man. Okay. This is getting rather intense, guys. This is what you hope to see every time, of course, when you are watching StarCraft 2, to let it go all the way. And it's looking pretty good so far. 3-3. 6 games down. And it feels like we're just getting started, basically, because, you know what, neither of these players have taken really any type of advantage just yet. Neither of them looking particularly stronger than the other one. And, well, we're going to have to wait and see what's going to happen right now. Game number 7. Both these guys bringing their A-game, guys. Let's give it all we have. And there is the blue Terran right here from France, the little boy. He is Clem from Team Liquid. Oh, he is becoming larger and larger with each passing day. His opponent in the left side corner, there is a red Protoss waiting to take, well, potentially another game. Let's see if he will be able to get that done. He is none other than Team Big's ShoWTimE. He's looking around. He might just be looking for proxies, so this probe might just be going across the map here to try and get his own proxy. No, okay, it's going backwards. Just doesn't want to get proxied here. Then the proxy map overall, and Clem is relaxing here. He's not scouting at all whatsoever so far. Might send an SCV later on. But right now it doesn't seem like he's too worried about being proxied. ShoWTimE, to be fair, he's not one of those players that you would ever really expect to try and proxy, right? He is the macro player. It's just not his style. And why would he bank a series that is getting this close right now? Why would he bank to try and do something sneaky, which might just be snuffed out and is not something that he's practiced with all that much anyway, right? Oh, my dear. Alright, so not really getting any delay there with that command center. But does get the full scout off, of course. Second base for ShoWTimE, well in time as well. And there's the second gas now. Remember, guys, there is a replay pack that you can buy for this Best of 9 series if you are interested in trying to figure out how these guys actually play this game. You can go watch in first-person perspective. You can just slow it down, pause the game whenever you need it to. You could even try to just, you know what, send them these players screenshots on Twitter or something like that and ask them about the game, being like, what in the world happens here? I'm not sure if they'll appreciate it, but, you know, it's worth a try, worth the attempt, right? If you don't shoot, you always miss. It's a Dutch saying right there. Factory coming up. Reactor as well. Looking to be pretty standard. No safety bunker again here from Clem. Kind of throwing caution in the wind, it would appear. Although he does have that Reaper on the other side, of course, still. So we'll keep ShoWTimE busy with those units on this side. Isn't really the Reaper map overall, right? So many ways you can gain entrance to the main base or the natural base. And ShoWTimE very well reading the overall movement of this Reaper here. There we go, look at that. That's absolutely crazy. I say crazy, but that's just very nicely done by ShoWTimE. Even getting this Adept over here as well. Really wants to get this Reaper, and it looks like, oh, Clem not expecting that one. Lovely job there. ShoWTimE hunts down that the Reaper. That's some Huntsman Adept right there, man. It's crazy. How do you call it? When there's like a tracker, right? It's a tracker. A tracker adept. Man. Cloak Banshees. We haven't seen those yet in this series, have we? I don't think so. Definitely a potential threat to ShoWTimE. One of the units that can do rather well against Protoss in that early part of the game, as they usually do use those observers to go across the map and scout with. He's not aware just yet, although he does have Blink, of course, on the way as well. Let's take a look. Does he have a robo facility? Yeah, there it is. Okay, he's making a observer, so that should arrive around the same time as that Banshee is going to arrive here in this third base. And, of course, there's no probes yet on that third base either. Maybe Clem is just going to wait for 2 Banshees, actually. 2 Banshees, one-shot the probes. It's going to be a lot more capable of kind of dealing with that to in case there is a shield battery. Now, the Flying Phoenix here, Hallucinated Phoenix, pretty much gets a full scout on. Sees absolutely everything. And the Hellion checking the waters. Just feeling out the overall probe count here. Is he just going to go for a frontal attack with those Banshees, actually? That could very well be the case. I wouldn't hate it. But going for the flank in the main base might be good too. Although there are 2 Stalkers here. Huh. Kind of like this for... Well, I think both these players at this time. It really does come down to control here. Although the Blink Stalkers once again a continuous thorn in the side of Clem. Wow, this is so smart as well. Going into the natural instead of the main base. Main base fully protected. Natural, a little bit open here. And Clem sensing it though. Somehow, some way realizing that it's more likely to get damage dealt in that natural base here. Well played indeed. Killing off a pylon as well. I know what. Delaying the robo here. No warp gate as well. Not going to be allowed to be warping in anything. Now, once more we saw Clem moving out on the map, being met by those Stalkers and having to siege up such an incredible distance away still. He did just retreat. Now, the previous time when we did see this happen, he just came around with a wave number 2 and he absolutely wiped the floor with ShoWTimE. Is that going to be the case again here, especially with that robo out of commission for a little while, together with that gateway out of commission for a while as well. ShoWTimE not going to have the amount of forces that he, you know what, kind of would like to have. He does see everything moving out here with that observer being in a good position. But, yeah, just a few too many units now to really get too much done with these Stalkers anymore. Nice micro from both of these players so far. The siege tanks getting closer and closer to a good position here to siege up and start shooting away at the probe line here. Just a couple of probes that you can hit is more than you need. Well, that's actually all you need is what I should say. The Zealots getting rid of those siege tanks very quickly. The Widow Mines making reasonable connections, but at the same time, a lot of those Zealots very low HP right now. The army supply for ShoWTimE dwindling. Clem, it's not looking as dominant as that game on Nightshade, though. That is for sure. Those siege tanks absolutely wiped the floor with. Just disappeared, really. And of course the Widow Mines as well, not getting the greatest of connections there now because of those the Zealots just kind of oh my god, trying to set off that Widow Mine. Clem won't let him know, but yeah, the Zealots wrap around the siege tanks, so that means that it becomes a little bit more difficult for... Oh boy, alright, hold up guys, hold that thought, in we go again, another attempted fight here at the same time. Clem being able to deal a little bit of damage here. Widow Mine making a good connection. These 2 Banshees still on this side as well. A big recall. The Widow Mine's just getting 2 Zealots, unfortunately. But the Banshees, they did manage to escape at the same time. Very well played here. Making use of that multi-pronged harassment, and there we go. There is definitely a good amount of damage being found here. A War Prism in the main base of Clem though as well at the same time. A whole lot of SCVs gonna go down there. The Zealots, where's that War Prism? They want to try to escape here. Ooh, Clem, you know what? Still a bit of trouble there. Still a bit scary to try and do stuff like this. These medevacts, oh boy. Oh, that was close. Still had to unload those Marines and Marauders there. The War Prism once again going in here into the main base. What does Clem have? He does have a couple of Widow Mines. One of them almost getting the connection on that War Prism. Isn't going to be the case though. The entirety of the army of ShoWTimE. That looked like a little bit of a missed pathing there, but you know what? It's working out. And oh dear Lord, Clem in a lot of trouble. He got blocked out of his own natural base. He's just running up against those force fields. There's more force fields available as well, so the army getting split up in 2. That may just be it here. That may be all she wrote. Clem in a lot of trouble. And I'm not sure how you're going to be able to wiggle your way out of this one, being Clem. I don't think you are quite able, unless if you just manage to absolutely destroy this army here and then do an enormous counter-aggression, but that's not going to be the case. It's the army of ShoWTimE. It's nothing to be scoffed at, especially with still zealots remaining here. And there it is, GG being called. Clem losing game number 7, and once again we have ShoWTimE moving forwards in that score. 1 point ahead, one more time here, and he's going to be the first one on match point. Needs one more victory. Clem needs 2. He needs 2 here, guys. That is quite something. We have seen Clem already take 2 games in a row, of course, but ShoWTimE continuously being the person just slightly moving in front of Clem here. And it looks like he may be able to just eke out a victory here in this best of 9. We're gonna have to wait and see. Everdream is going to the map pick of Clem. That's another thing, right? We have to consider the entire map pool is available once more. So that means Clem now, first and foremost, he can pick his favorite map, right? That's a big advantage right there. But then afterwards, after this map, ShoWTimE's gonna have his map pick, right? He's gonna have the last say in the map pick. And that's why that game number 7 is so important as well. Because you're gonna be the person, if you do lose this one, right? You're still going to have a map pick. And you're going to be able to pick from any map whichever you want. And we saw how good ShoWTimE was with that golden wall. Is that going to be the case again? I'm not quite sure. Everdream was the map that Clem did win through a massive macro game. I'm curious to see if that's going to be the case one more time. Alright, let me set up the scores here, guys. It is 4-3. This guy in the top right, the Blue Terran. Fighting for Team Liquid, it's the Frenchman. 3 points on the board. He is Clem. Bottom left side, the red Protoss. Fighting for Germany and Team Big. He is ShoWTimE. Only one more victory required for our German Protoss in the bottom left side. He's going to be able to pull through here. There's a question on a lot of people's minds. And Clem, you know what? At the start I was kind of joking. I hope he goes easy on ShoWTimE here. But, well, ShoWTimE making me eat my words. He's definitely showing me quite something else here. And shows why he is still considered one of the main Protosses in the European scene. In the Western scene outside of Korea, that is always just quite capable to bring down pretty much any player. At any time. You know what, he hasn't had as much success, I feel like, against the Koreans. I think, just out of the top of my head, maybe wrong on that one, but it just, perception-wise, feeling-wise, I think Clem, in my recent memory, taking on a few more of the Koreans. ShoWTimE, I feel like he's still, you know what, part of that older generation, maybe he's still a little bit more of a mental block, where I don't see him taking on that many Koreans, or as many Koreans. So, just seeing him play like this, you know, it definitely feels like he should be quite capable of just taking on some of those best Koreans as well. Safety bunker once more for Clem. Finally, thank God. That's not going to be his downfall. I really think that is such an important part for those Terran players to always get that safety bunker here. You don't always need it, but, I mean, if you do need it, oh my dear lord, you're going to be extremely happy that you are, well, you do have one available. Alright, proxy starport, gonna be dropping those aliens into the main base, it looks like. That blink. Is that gonna be in time here? It might be with some Chrono right on top of it. It's going to be Blink again, right? I would have a hard time imagining ShoWTimE going for some sort of a warp or a glaive attack here. The war glaives. First Hellion, another Hellion, and that's the medevac. Hellions coming across the field. He does have 4 of them. That's a good amount, right? You have the capability to one-shot, and you can lose one of those Hellions as well and still be able to one-shot. There's nothing here for ShoWTimE to scout out what is going to be happening here. He is scouting with that hallucinated Phoenix, but he doesn't see much, right? He only sees pretty much this. I guess he does see that there is something missing of a starport. And oh my god, that is... He's just this one of the smartest players in the world, isn't he? Look at that. He just... By seeing that there's a starport missing, immediately realizes he needs to move those forces elsewhere. But at the same time, Clem positioning those those Hellions in a marvelous way as well. Somehow circumventing these Stalkers here, coming in and dealing a whole lot of damage. There it is, 12 workers, 14 workers, 15. Let's see, can he get some more? Just one more shot. There we go, 16. That is nothing to be scoffed at. That is a very nice little engagement there for Clem, putting himself quite far ahead overall in this first part of the game. Now ShoWTimE might still be able to start pressuring the other side, though, of course. There is a siege tank available, though, on that high ground. It's a little bit further away, but that it does make him a little bit safer against the Blink Stalkers as well. Going to be hard to blink on top of that, but, you know, it might still see some Stalker harassment on the back line there. Unless if he just goes for a blink into the main base, which the siege tank is a little bit more prepared for to take on. Oh, the hallucinated Phoenix, though, getting gunned down immediately, so it's not gonna happen here. There's the third base. Alright. ShoWTimE. He's got to be scratching his head. He's got to be thinking, what do I do now? How am I going to get back from this? Am I just going to go with a big attack? Am I just going to try my best to macro up, even after losing all those probes from a worse situation than I would like to be in? It's a rough decision to make. It's a very rough decision to make, and you know what? I'm glad that I'm not in his position. It's game number 8 after all. He's one win away, but it's looking like Clem is in a very good position to tie up this series once more. 50 army supply versus, well, 26 right now, with those zealots being warped in. And that 50 army supply is merging across the map right now. There's quite a lot as well. Stalkers not that plentiful to try and help out with the situation this time around. Aren't going to be able to delay this push from coming in here for too much. Might be able to pick off a siege tank, though. That would be absolutely lovely. But they're moving backwards. Okay, there they go in again. Trying to come for the reinforcing units. Kills 2 medevacs here, perhaps. And yeah, definitely getting both of those, actually. That is massive. Now, there's no medevacs whatsoever here for Clem anymore. Clem realizing that that is quite something horrendous to happen for him. Wants to get rid of these Stalkers to not allow the other medevacs that are in the production tab to be killed off as well. Should be able to kill off these Stalkers right here. Stalkers getting out of that with the recall, though. Very quick, nice maneuver. Hiding them behind the shrubbery and getting the heck out of dodge. A Zealot again keeping Clem busy on his side of the map here. ShoWTimE pulling all the tricks and all the levers, trying to keep Clem preoccupied and away from starting this push and the engagements. Actually, ShoWTimE, that's a whole lot of zealots, my friend. He may just be going for it himself here. He's making more and more, and well, it's a good thing that Clem is no longer trying to move out on the map here, I'd say, for him, as he is going to be attacked pretty darn soon. Charge and blink. That is a whole bunch of zealots. 32 to be precise. It's going to come down to siege tanks and their shots. It's going to come down to widow mines. And how well they manage to connect here. There's no more probes being produced for ShoWTimE here for such a long time right now. And there it is there. Oh, the Zealots, the micro from Clem. Stutter stepping away. There's the Widow Mines. There's one not getting the greatest connection, but it looks like it may just be enough anyway for Clem. He's holding on, and he is going to tie up the series one more time here. It looks like picking up with the Medivacs, dropping on top of the army. Gonna be able to clean this one up. It looks like still, right? I might be wrong, but I don't think I am. ShoWTimE taking a hefty punch right in the groin, right there. And Clem has to be quite cheerful right now. Gonna be able to bring this one to the ace game, the final game here. Well, as I'm saying is, but ShoWTimE's still in this one. He's not left yet. He hasn't GG'd yet. I thought that may have been the time, but there might be a part number 2 to this attack, and it's going to be Dark Shrine. Okay. You know what, ShoWTimE? I don't blame you, buddy. I wouldn't want to go up against Clem in a game number 9 and bring it to the ace game here either. That would be just absolutely terrifying if I was in his shoes. And, well, to be fair, just sticking in here, trying to still make the best. He still has those 3 bases. He still has 50 army supply, and of course he's not omnipotent, right? He cannot see all the counters and all the numbers that we can see right here. So you know what, he is gonna try one more time, coming in with a bunch of Zealots. The Widow Mines though, very potent against this force of ShoWTimE. And a big run by over a bunch of Zealots here. Gonna be able to deal quite a bit of damage. It looks like ShoWTimE is gonna go for a base trade, perhaps. Is he gonna try to intercept more reinforcements? It is definitely questionable. The Zealots here getting picked off by those SCVs right now, but more coming in as well to reinforce this area. Alright, here we go. There's a base trade situation occurring. This may be the only way for ShoWTimE still to win. There is a Widow Mine being able to hit rather nicely. EMP's going off as well. And this is a very, you know what, difficult situation for ShoWTimE to find himself in. As the Terran player, you know what, ooh, does manage to still get a scan. Needs to find that overall couple of more pylons to go down. Might be able to kill off those warp gates. Man, there's so much happening right now. The army supply for Clem still in his favor, of course. But those Dark Templars, let's take a look. There are 5 of them on the field here. If they do manage to get on top of this army, and if all those orbitals are floating around in the air, not being able to do any scans, that could still be the downfall for Clem here. But it looks like, you know what, ShoWTimE is not even going to attempt it. That was a very difficult situation, to be fair as well. And, yeah, ShoWTimE taps out. It's going to be a tied-up series here, guys. That means we're going to go into game number 9. Game number 9, ace match. Holy moly. Now, that's going to be a whole lot of bang for your buck if you do buy that replay pack, of course. It's only $3. It's available on the Matcherino page. If you want to go check out the Matcherino page, that is, of course, always a very nice thing. Anyway, I want to do another shout out to one of our sponsors. It is, of course, G Fuel. They are the official drink of esports, after all, since 2004. They've been providing top gamers such as PewDiePie and Dr. Disrespect with energy, focus, and endurance. They've just released their new flavor, Castro's Guava, a flavor that pays tribute to the streamer's Castro's rich Mexican heritage. Get the flavor now in its original package. Or in a limited edition collector's box. G Fuel adds to our prize pool for each of their quests completed on that Matcherino page. And make sure to go check them out there. And yeah, just go get yourself some G Fuel, guys. They are supporting StarCraft 2. And you know, that's a good enough reason for me to start supporting them as well. Alright, game number 9, guys. I am not getting in. Alright, there we go, there we go. Yeah, I mean, we're not missing this one. Simulacrum is going to be the map choice here for ShoWTimE. It's the map where we all started on. Where everything started to go wrong for Clem, I suppose, as well. Where Clem did lose that first game. Lost the initial momentum. Alright, Clem does need a 2-minute break, so we are gonna do a little bit more of a shout out for that Matcherino page, guys. Might as well give you guys some more insight. So, if you want to support the prize pool, if you want to give these players a bit more money for their troubles, go check this out. There's a couple of quests that you can do very easily, right? Just add 20 cents to that prize pool. There's a couple of Twitter quests over here as well. By following a couple of people, you will be just adding a bit of money to the prize pool. Same goes for just subscribing to some YouTube channels here. May as well. And then over here in the marketplace, you will find some awesome jerseys, first and foremost. They absolutely look rock solid, amazing. But also, of course, the replay pack, very important. If you want to learn from these games, the replay pack available right here. $3, not that much. And other than that, there's some more cheaper versions of the merchandise, a hoodie and a t-shirt, and a Caster's tip jar. So if you feel like I'm doing a good job, if you feel like I deserve a little bit of a extra special thank you, then this is the way to do it, and I would of course very much appreciate it, guys. $1 a show, it's all we ask. That is pretty much it. That's all I can talk about the Matcherino page. Let me take a look at the overall lobby again. Okay, Liquid Clem is ready. ShoWTimE as well. So perfectly in time. Looks like we will be getting the countdown going. There it is. Lovely. Alrighty, guys. Game number 9. We're going all the way here. How often do you see a best of 9 going to game number 9? It's not that often, honestly. Usually, one of the players, they either get tired, they either start steamrolling, the other player starts losing confidence, and their mentality just kind of breaks. And that's the time when, just like you know what, you get those 5-3s, you get those 5-2s sometimes, but it's looking like we will be having ourselves a 4-5 in the top left side of the map. There is a red Protoss. He's fighting for Germany, for Team Big. He is very big himself, ShoWTimE. Can he bring it to a close? And in the bottom right side, we have ourselves a blue Terran player. What is he doing? He's just gonna proxy a barracks, it looks like, on his side of the field here. Let's see if ShoWTimE goes for the scout. Anyway, it's the blue Terran player. He is from France. He is Team Liquid's own Clem. Okay. I mean, yeah. A barracks trying to be a little bit sneaky here. Of course, that could put ShoWTimE off. He might start a Zealot here. He, of course, is one of those players that tries to be as defensive as possible. He knows how to play that macro game. He knows how to defend himself against cheese. And right now, as he doesn't find a barracks on this side of the map, is going to try to do something to start defending against a proxy barracks, of course. That is going to be the case. And let's see actually if it is going to be the case. Yeah, there we have it. Cybernetics core immediately and a Zealot coming down here. He's not using Chrono on it just yet. Still looking around. Doesn't see anything in the main base of Clem. Still kind of curious. There are 2 gases right now for Clem being utilized here as well. So it does look like Clem is going to be doing a little bit of aggression here. Alright, ShoWTimE will eventually find out this barracks. And right here we have the Nexus still gonna get created by ShoWTimE. So he's not gonna overcommit to anything defensive wise, but still of course a little bit of a delay here, which is nice. And Clem, I'm a bit surprised that he did go for the double gas here actually, and he did go for the quick factory. Interested to see what he will be doing with that one. We're gonna have to wait and see. Of course, Simulacrum, one of those maps that's pretty good for Protoss, having those 3 ramp areas over here, especially for a defensive Protoss such as ShoWTimE. Very comfortable, can get himself that 3rd base. Doesn't have to worry too much about 2 base timing attacks. As long as he gets himself in the right position, as long as he lands those force fields in time, he's going to be able to hold his own. Now, there is a Hellion over here. There's another Reaper. Actually, 2 Reapers. That's more Reapers than I was expecting. The SCV a little bit alone now. Another SCV has to be sent over to come and help out. The Hellion poking in, seeing that there's not too much there. Sentry might be picked off by the Reapers. Look out to not get yourself locked in here with those 2 Reapers. Wants to get that Sentry. That's a very valuable target right now. Is getting himself some probes though instead as well. Oh, is he gonna go for that Sentry? I don't think he's gonna have the forces to really try this. Ooh, that's a lot of probes killed though. That's 5 already. Coming back towards that Sentry. He does have his energy energized, so I'm gonna get too much this Hellion as well. Getting a single kill. 7 workers in total picked off by Clem, and that kind of puts him on an equal amount of workers again. Not too bad. Not too bad for a double Reaper opening and 1 single Hellion. Yeah, it's a lot more than I thought he would get. And wait a moment, I was not expecting this building to be placed over here. A fusion core getting constructed, and there's no scout whatsoever for ShoWTimE. Doesn't see the starports, doesn't see the add-on, and in particularly, of course, the more important thing, he doesn't see the fusion core. Is this actually gonna be battlecruisers? Oh my god, it is! Oh dear lord. Alright, we're gonna get crazy in here. Absolutely crazy. Clem, alright, let me see what you can make work with this one. Thank god that, it's not supply blocked for the battlecruiser here. Only the siege tank is making a supply depot though. There it is, it's finished up right now. He's not getting himself the, Yamato cannon just yet, so I'm not quite sure how much he's going to invest into this. This is just going to be a single battlecruiser. Oh, does he see this observer? The observer now coming in. It's a little bit late though, and there it is. I mean, he does see it, but what can you really do? Make shield batteries, make stalkers as quickly as possible as the battlecruiser is about to be operational. Alright, Clem as well coming through here now with a good amount of Marines. The Cyclone and the SCVs as well. And that's wonderful to see, of course. Together with that battlecruiser. Wait, there it is. It is on the top left side. Multi-pronged harassment. For a moment I thought he would just use that battlecruiser to try and come across there. Still targeting down that shield battery. It looks like, you know, the Stalkers are gonna be enough to keep the peace here. Forces for Clem getting force shielded as well. I don't think this is going all too well so far for Clem here. Shield batteries doing more than their work so far. Look at that. So many shield batteries being created here by ShoWTimE. And he is not going to take a real dent of damage in any sense of the word. Not a single probe lost. I guess he lost that shield battery here, but he's already recreating it. Not the worst case scenario, honestly. And Clem still making more battlecruisers. He is adding into barracks, so it isn't going to be a mech style. But there is going to be Yamato cannon as well coming into play. So, very, very curious way of kind of going in here in a final game. I mean, this is the 9th game of the series. Everything that we've seen so far is going to come down to a single game. And who manages to win this one? And Clem, you know what, that crazy motherfucker BMF bomb, that, what's it called? BMF, that's right. It's just going to go for battlecruisers, of course. Yeah, that's right. Battlecruiser with bio. That is very interesting to see. Bringing out the big guns. Absolutely crazy. Alright, well, I'm gonna have to wait and see how this is gonna unfold, of course. Not really something I've seen all that much. 2 battlecruisers this time around. They don't have Yamato cannon just yet, but there's no stalkers to accompany the probes anymore. That's the shield battery. That is once again going to go down immediately here. Targeting down a pylon as well. In the top left, you can go quite easily into the hidden area as well, of course. Is there blink available? There's no blink available just yet, so these battlecruisers are quite capable of just jumping back and forth between these bases here. Stalker's going to have a hard time catching up. And some damage is being achieved here by those battlecruisers. More probes. There's no shield battery on that third base. More kills and more kills being stacked up. 8 right now. So far, lovely stuff from Clem. And gets himself into the dead space once more. Killing a good amount of those stocks as well. Look at that. Trading rather efficiently. Getting his battle cruisers as low as they can go. More units being created. Actually, High Templar here. They can no longer feed back those battle cruisers, buddy. That is not the case. And GG is called. ShoWTimE taps out. Battle cruisers taking the game here. I'm pretty sure there was something else as well. Let me see, actually. Let me rewind this one real quick. Let me go back 1 second here. Because there was another battle cruiser right here as well. So 3 battle cruisers. How? Alright, who could have seen that one coming? That is crazy. Okay, apparently you can go battle cruisers against Protoss. Apparently that's a thing now. Well done by Clem. Very well played. Manages to secure himself that 9th game. And takes the entire series in that sense with goddamn battle cruisers. Alright, mates. Alright, whatever. It seems like he can just do whatever the heck he wants sometimes and still take games in ways that nobody expects games to be able to ever get taken by anyone. Especially against someone as capable of defending himself as ShoWTimE. Alright, anyway, a bit surprising to see the charge coming out before the blink from ShoWTimE there. Maybe that would have helped out quite a bit there. But this is how it ended, and that is how it all just kind of wound up being, I guess. And yeah, what a series, guys. What an absolute amazing show. There should be more StarCraft coming up pretty soon. I believe the TSL's show is going to start again. The Team Liquid's show, sponsored by Shopify. Let me take a look, actually, when that is going to start here. It's going to start in a couple of hours. I think like 2 hours or something like that. Yeah, 1 hour and 47 minutes. There's going to be the Shopify TSL number 5, the DreamHack edition. Yeah, it's the European one. Come check that one out. It's going to be on my Twitch channel where I'll be available at Really Kozen. Hope to see you there. Hope to have some more good content available right then and there. And get some more of these pro-European players to play some games for us, alright? Alright. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Remember, you can buy the replay pack on the Match Arena page. And, yeah, hope to see you in a little bit, in 1 hour and 45 minutes. See you later, guys. Love your faces. Bye-bye. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.